What's going on, everybody? One Piece 1044 is out. I unfortunately had some of it spoiled, but we're still gonna react. This is gonna be my first time reading it, so we're gonna react, even though I do know some of the stuff that's coming up, unfortunately. So it's chapter 1044. It's called Warrior of Liberation. The cover page has Niji and Youngji about to be experimented on. It's called Mama's Out at Sea. Let's start our research. There's a bunch of the uh, Charlotte kids and ovens after passing them off the book. And they're all about to go to work. So that's the cover story for this week, and then we move on. So chapter is picking up where it left off. Yeah, that's Zunisha. So what's happening? How can I still stand? I just lost. Okay, this has to be Luffy talking. Uh, I just lost, but I feel like I'm having a blast. Ha ha ha. Okay, so yeah, it is Luffy. So from a distance, we see Luffy on the ground, but it's just a silhouette. Then Momonosuke is hearing the doom da da da, which is Luffy's heartbeat, I'm guessing. Uh, yeah, so Momo's seeing it. Luffy is Joy Boy. Uh, yeah, okay, we had that revelation last week with Zunisha revealing it, but yeah, and Yamato is kind of like Zunisha said that. Okay. Um, Then it's Pleasure Hall Right Brain Tower. We see Sanji. So Sanji is still alive. He's being looked after by some of the uh, prostitutes, whatever they're called again. Courtesans, that's the word. Um, so Sanji's kind of getting up. He's obviously sensed it, and he's like, "Sir Pirate, you're awake." That's the courtesan looking after him, and he's like, "Luffy." So yeah, he sensed it. Live floor, we see Kid, Law, and Hyogoro and Marco all sense it as well. So Kid saying "What the?" and Hyogoro saying "Is that Sir Straw Hat?" and then Marco saying "Straw Hat," and Nami and Yamato are Nami and Tama are crying, and Marco says he's still alive, and they're like, "Oh my god, he's still alive! Thank God." Um, okay, so this is a double page. It's cutting to Marishwa, and we sacrificed one of our best agents and endangered Kaido. And enraged Kaido. Are we sure our priorities are straight? So they're talking about sending in CP0 to get Luffy killed. Um, yeah. Dreadlocks Gorosei is saying this may be better than the alternative. It's imperative that we snuff out something this problematic. And Samurai Gandhi is saying no matter the era, the world government has always failed to acquire the Gomu Gomu, even after 800 years of trying. It's almost as if the fruit itself is evading us. What? Well, that's not impossible. All Zoan, but it's a paramecia. All zone fruits have a will of their own, and this one carries the name of a god. After all, the Gomu Gomu fruit is really a mythical zone. What? It's the human fruit. Model Nika. What? What? I, I didn't have this spoiled. I had. I'm guessing what's coming next spoiled, but it's actually a zone fruit. But in Enies lobby, and I went back to it and everything. The Rob Lucci directly says that when you get the fruit, when you eat the fruit and get the powers, you learn the name of the fruit. If it's actually the Hijo no Mi, then how? Oh yeah, it's the human fruit, which is the same fruit that Chopper has, except and Sengoku, except this is another alternative. So Sengoku's is the human fruit model Daibutsu, which is Buddha. So this is obviously another one, except it's Nika, the sun god, built up by the story over time. But Rob Lucci directly says that when you eat the fruit, you learn the name of the fruit. So is this a special ability of zone fruits or something, or mythical zone fruits or something that they can hide their identity? Or what's the story? And Luffy's laughing again. He's silhouetted against the sky. He looks like that image from the Who's Who Jinbei fight of Nika, where he's like jumping up into the oh shit. He's jumping up into the sky, except he doesn't have any weapons in his hand because Luffy's obviously a bare hand fighter. Its user's body gains the properties of rubber. In combat, they're supposedly only limited by their imagination, putting smiles on faces far and wide. They are the embodiment of the warrior of liberation. Sun God Nika, awakening exponentially strengthens their rubbery body and they have even more freedom. It is allegedly okay, that's going to the next page, but let's talk about this. So that seems to confirm vulcanization as his awakening, but there might be more to it. But since it's a mythical zone fruit, we don't entirely understand them. Uh, yeah. So last week, I at least was worried that this was going to be like a resurrection, like he was going to be a resurrected form of Joy Boy. But by the looks of it, Joy Boy might have just been a prior wielder of the Gomu Gomu no Mi, and possibly the only other person who's ever actually awakened the fruit, um, which is why he has the legendary status. And that would mean that Luffy isn't a reincarnation. He just happens to be like similar ideal wise and at the fruit as well. Maybe like kind of the personality of the user also plays into the awakening of fruits, which would explain why they'd be the only two that were able to use it. Maybe Roger could have been the next Joy Boy if he had gotten the Gomu Gomu no Mi as well. But so yeah, go on to the next page. The most ridiculous power in the world. Okay. Treasure repository. Okay, this is Orochi and Kyori. Kyori, I really admired Odin. Think about what you're doing, you fucking snake. It was all Kaido. He was using me. We can still run away together. Just remove these nails. Okay, Orochi. His name literally means snake, so obviously he's gonna be a little spineless. You spat in the face of a samurai you owed. Who would still believe you? Yeah, that's fair enough. Hyori kind of spitting. My father kept his promise, did he not? Kyori spitting. He danced like a fool for 5 long years because he thought you and Kaido would honor the secret agreement you made in Free Wano. He never even told his own family. We knew that, but like her actually saying it to him, his face is kind of like, oh fuck. Uh, yeah, I imagine Hiyori's gonna kill Orochi right now. I imagine that's what it's building to. He still expected the same of you when you agreed to let them go if he withstood being boiled for an entire hour. That's yeah. Even while his body was being burned by the oil. Despite it all, he always smiled. Always. I can't even fathom my father's suffering. He had to shoulder the burden by himself because the entire nation was your hostage. What's the matter, Hiyori? Okay, that's a flashback text, so I'm guessing that's Odin saying that. Uh, yeah, this Odin and Hiyori are having a combined flashback. Father, are you really okay with what everyone says about you? Of course I am. You know why? Because I have you guys. Oh, that's very wholesome. Really? Then I swear I'll always be here for you. Very wholesome scene between Hiyori and Odin. Oh yes, I've always said Odin was a great samurai. Shut up, Orochi, you fucking loser. As Shogun, I can ensure his legacy and recognize your father. I mean, you can say that, Orochi, but you've been Shogun for over 20 years, you fucking snake. Clatter. Okay, Hiyori removed her mask. I think this is the first time that Orochi's ever actually seen her face. Hold your tongue, you miserable wretch. I am Kazuki Hiyori. And she's crying, but, he's kind of like, damn. Eek. Eek. Fucking snake. I was always proud to carry my father's name, even when I was starving and covered in rags. You, on the other hand, never had a trace of honor. Every day you were shogun was one too many, and as each day passed, more and more lives are lost. Hiyori is spitting. Wait, stop. Don't do something you're going to regret. Seeking revenge is a dated ideology, you know. Besides, killing me makes no difference. Kaido will still be unbeatable. Orochi-sama. Okay, this is a tiny bit of a Kazunbo, the fire demon that what's his face drew before he died. Orochi-sama, huh? I have failed. Is that you, Kondro? That's his name. This is the Kazunbo, though. I think that's what it was called, wasn't it? The fire demon. Is that you, Kondro? This is as far as I go. So Kondro has to be officially dead at this point. Like, if he isn't, I'm like, why? Why is he still alive? Your timing is impeccable. This is the ideal stage for your real final performance. Burn that woman to ash. Go on, take her. Goofwaha. The failed revenge of a shrew, 20 years in the making. It's the perfect title for this tragic comedy. Take a look. Hiyori, a Kazuki survivor, should know that fortune favors the mighty. So Orochi's talking mad shit for someone who's trapped under rubble. and unable to transform into his actual snake form. Orochi-sama, that's the wrong way. Okay. So that little bit of the fire demon has set Orochi on fire. So I guess that Hiyori won't be killing Orochi. Orochi is screaming. Hiyori says, "The dawn will come. Conjuro, you idiot. Hiyori, save me. It burns." Yeah, he's screaming out because he wants help, obviously, because he can't get out because he's got sea stones trapped him in and he's trapped under rubble. The Kazuki clan always keeps its promises. Damn, Hiyori, you fucking stone cold. Uh, so we're going back up to the roof. We hear doom doot da da, doom doot da da. That has to be Luffy's heartbeat, yeah. I feel like anything's possible now. I can keep fighting a bit longer. My heartbeat sounds funny. This is my peak. This is gear fifth. That's what I had spoiled, yeah. So this is gear fifth, so it has to be the awakening, right? Um, Through the hole in the roof. Wow, wow, thud thud. Hey, you guys. Okay, so people are feeling the sensation of black lightning. So it's Luffy's Conqueror's Hockey coming through the roof and knocking out all the Beast Pirates. Um, Kaido kind of like, hey, you guys, staring at them. What the hell is that? It's on the roof. Kaido's kind of getting worried. He's kind of like, what's up there? So yeah, there's showing the hole in the roof. Hey, hey, what's happening? Conqueror's Hockey. Where's it coming from? Yeah, it's Luffy's Conqueror's Hockey. And then, holy shit, what? What? So a hand reaches down from the roof. It's a humongous hand. It's bigger than a Gear 3 hand, I think. Reaches down and grabs Kaido by his body. It just wraps its hand around his body like this. And everyone's kind of like, what? And Law and Kid are both like, Straw Hat. Chopper is crying, screaming Luffy. And then we see Luffy smiling, his grin from the last chapter. It's nearly the same. And yoink! Kaido gets pulled up through the roof by the hand, and he's like, ooh, and his eyes are popping out of his head like a cartoon, kind of like that NL scene from Skypea where he's like, that kind of thing, like comical. And the Beast Pirates are like Kaido-san, and yeah, Kaido's been pulled up through the roof, and we see Luffy. Uh, Luffy, we still don't get a clear look at him, but he's after grabbing Kaido and pulling him up through the roof. So we're up on the roof now, and Luffy just lets out a big ha, and then we get the she, which is Luffy's actual laugh. We get a look at his face. He has different pupils. They're like two circles instead of just the one circle. And he's take this art, and he's spinning Kaido around, like in a 360, and saying take this, and Kaido's kind of like mouth agape. He's still in his dragon form, and the eyes are kind of like tracking, and then he's slamming him side to side, kind of like the Hulk in Avengers on Loki. And yeah, Kaido's getting messed up, and Luffy's just laughing. He's just laughing away to himself. Kaido's kind of dizzy, and Kaido's talking. He's like, "Straw Hat, so you're still alive? I'm grateful." And he throws a Boro breath at him. He's grateful. Yeah, obviously Kaido was very sad after the last when he actually beat Luffy because he was getting a good fight for once since Odin, and he was finally having it, and then CP0 fucked it up. So he's happy, and Luffy. So he throws Boro breath. Luffy is just on the floor laughing, and he's like, ah. And he's like, whoa! And he's got the comical eyes staring at it, and his tongue's out of his mouth and everything, and it's coming at him. So he grabs the ground and he flips it up. Okay, he flips it up, and ground's obviously rubber by the looks of it, and it just catches the Boro breath, and he's like, and he launches the Boro breath back at Kaido. And it explodes on Kaido, and Luffy's just laughing. Like he looks like he's kind of bouncing up and down, but he's like legs in the air, and he's just laughing to himself, eyes covered. And yeah, Kaido says, "Sorry about that idiot from before. I didn't want to win like that." As we said, Kaido obviously wants a real fight. And then we get a clear look at Luffy's face, like his full face, and his eyes are different. His eyebrows kind of look like Sanji's. They have the curl to them, and his hair is parted and all goopy, as we saw in the last chapter. And he says, "Don't sweat it. Now let's finish this." Goddamn, what a banger. Uh, no break next week, I believe. Uh, I'm really happy with how this went. Unreal chapter. Thank God that it's not a resurrection of Joy Boy. It's a devil. It's the actual devil fruit. It's a mythical, so we'll have to find out more about it. I've seen theories that Vegapunk is on the ships that are down by Zunisha, so hopefully that's the case, and we can learn about it. Because the implication in this chapter with the whole bit about like Luffy's devil fruit running away from the world government is that devil fruits actually do have a devil inside of them, but like the way it was implied with CP9 in Ennis lobby with Rob Lucci saying you understand the fruit once you eat it, and on top of that with like the idea of lineage factor being involved, like we know like we know that in world there are people who understand how the devil fruits affect it, namely Vegapunk and whatchamacallit, the Vinsmokes and Mads, like that team, they understand how the devil fruits give you powers. So how is it going to balance between the idea of there being a devil in a fruit and lineage factor, or like how's that going to work? So we'll have to see that next week. Hopefully next week is just straight up like Kaido versus Luffy, and maybe at that point we might get a flashback coming soon for Kaido. Find out who he is, where he's from, and all that stuff. And yeah, great chapter. Honestly, I was really worried after last week. I thought everyone was wrong when they were saying, that Luffy's devil fruit wasn't actually a Goma Goma no Mi. I even put up a video saying everyone is wrong about Luffy's devil fruit. But yeah, I was wrong, obviously. I'm happy to say that. And yeah, next week. All right. If you enjoyed, please consider dropping a like. Please consider subscribing. Leave a comment down below what you thought of this chapter. What you think's going to happen next, and I'll see you next time. Peace.